Hello YouTube and welcome to my first video. In this video we're going to explain how we're going to set up SFTP. So that means we're going to use SSH tunneling. And we're also gonna make sure that our users do not have access to the entire system, because that's bad, okay? Never trust a user. So we're gonna make a jail for them to be in. Okay, let's get to it, and after the initial video I will tell you about the pitfalls and all that other stuff I haven't covered trying to set this up for the first time. Here we go. So I made a Ubuntu server just for you. It's a virtual machine. You can see it's version 16.04.1 LTS. Date is currently October of 2016. Future versions might do it differently, but this is how it works today. So we want to add a user. Let's go ahead. Sudo add user, user1. Enter Unix password. Just gonna enter test. Enter it again. Okay. That's all not needed. Right, so we added one user. Let's add a group. Let's call this group X. Great. Now, we're gonna have to make two folders. The first folder is a container folder. It's actually a jail, and of course you want to put your users in your jail so they can't do anything you don't allow. You can place this folder anywhere you like. Personally, I like to have user files on a separate hard disk instead of my main drive, because I tend to use SSDs to make the system really fast, but I use small SSDs so it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. So let's change to media. I usually mount stuff there. Let's call it differently. Jail folder. And then we're gonna go cd jail folder. User folder. So, important things to note. The user folder is currently owned by root. Of course, the user needs to be the owner of this folder, because else it can't really do stuff. You can make it public, but that's way too dangerous. Don't do that. So user1, and you can add a group. Group X are the owners of user folder. Let's list that again. You can see user1 and group X are the owner and the group assigned to the user folder. Let's go up a folder. You see this jail folder. It's really important that this folder is owned by root, because otherwise it wouldn't be much of a jail now, would it? If you don't make this folder owned by root, and also it cannot have any write access, so just to make sure, 7 for users can do anything, the owner that is. Group gets to read, and well, anyone else gets to read as well, because else it's not going to work. Jail folder. Oh, that's how it was, but just making sure. Another thing you definitely need to do is, if you're going to use groups like we are today, you need to add your users to the group, because else stuff is not going to work. So let's go. Sudo user mod. Important here. Small a, capital G. And we added the user, no, it's group first, group X, and user1. There we go. So we are gonna edit our SSHD file. Just gonna use nano, so sudo nano etc ssh sshd underscore config. There is also a file without this D, but that's not needed. We need the D file. I presume it means daemon. If anyone can clarify in the comments, please do. Right. We are gonna go all the way to the bottom. I had some pitfalls here, and I know many other people do, because else I wouldn't be making this video. Right, first things first, the problem I had, I didn't comment this one. Another problem I had was I commented use spam and I locked myself out. Don't do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type subsystem SFTP, because that's what we're using, internal SFTP. Okay. Then we are gonna write a match. So match user or group. Let's take group for this instance. It can be both. That's group X. That's the group we created earlier. And then we're gonna sh root directory media jail folder, and this is important. You do not want to put a trailing slash or the test folder here. No. This is the root directory. This is the jail folder. So that's why it's called jail folder right here. Because else it no worky. Force command. We don't have any typos. Internal SFTP. Force command looks weird. Camel capping. Good stuff. Allow TCP forwarding noob. X numlock on please. X11 forwarding no. That's pretty much it. So we're gonna type Control or press on the keyboard Control O to write out. Yes, we want to overwrite. Just Control X to exit, and there we go. Clear. Next thing you want to do, pretty easy, sudo service ssh daemon restart. Ta-da! If you're not sure if it doesn't work, first thing you want to do is reboot. If you try turning it off and on again, everyone knows that. Oh, let's test it out. So here I've started Filezilla, and I'm gonna input the IP of our server. I'm just using LAN to test this out. Username was user1, password was test. Port 22, important if you're gonna use this remotely in a production environment or anything, forward this port to your router. Well, in the router, forward this port to the IP address of your server. Presumably have a fixed IP for your server. Right. Connect. Do you want to accept the certificate? Yes, I do. Test folder. Look at that. And I cannot go up, so I'm in jail. In here, I can make a new folder. Test. I can delete a folder. I can do anything I want in here because I'm allowed as a user, but I cannot go above my level. And there you go. Congratulations. Next up, pitfalls and debugging. So you might have had a few issues here and there. First of all, check for typos. That's really important. Another thing that's really helpful to check. There's a great command for this. Sudo tail F for follow. And now we're gonna look at the logs live while we try to connect with Filezilla or whatever your favorite client is. So that's in var log. This is the auth log. So if you're not sure, you can double press tab and no, never mind. This is the live view of your folder. So in another window here, I'm gonna open up Filezilla and connect to the server. And you're gonna see what it actually does. So hold on. If I can remember the IP. User1 test 22 connect. Yes. There you go. Now you see session is opened by user1. Now if there's a problem, and I'm gonna break it now on purpose to show you. So let's Control C that. Let's type etc sshd.config. Okay, say for instance that, oh, you had a typo here, or another thing I had was, that's why I call it so important, I put a trailing slash here and I put test folder here because I thought, well, that's where the user is gonna go. There you go. It's not the case. So now you're actually pointing beyond the jail. I'm gonna write that exit sudo service sshd restart. Right. Now let's tail that file again. Sudo tail. I'm sorry that I'm using sudo so much, but most of the stuff just doesn't work if you don't, so be careful, guys. Var log ssh. What am I doing wrong? It's the auth file. There we go. If I try to connect with Filezilla now, connect. In Filezilla, I'm getting an error, and the error is telling me software caused connection abort. And you see here why. It is because of, let's cancel that, bad ownership or mode for sh root directory. That's because we didn't point to the jail directory in our config file. Now you know. Another thing, big one. So we're in the media folder now. If this jail folder is owned by user 1, for example, this is not going to work. It needs to be root. So let's just put it back. Another thing, if this folder has group or public write permissions, then it's also not gonna work. The reason for this is built-in security features on the SSH daemon. It's good that they have it, but you can run into a problem for yourself there. So sudo sh mod 777, this is really insecure. Jail folder. If I do this, then it's definitely not going to work. It needs to be 755 jail folder. Well, I think that's most of it. If you have any comments or things aren't working, just put it in the description and let's help each other out.